All right, so welcome back to Listen to the Rumors or Profit from the Truth, a mini-series designed to help real estate agents make good decisions for themselves and their careers. And we are back for our fourth topic, which is wealth building. And I'd like to welcome my guest, Greg Basile, here.
Good to see you, Dave.
Greg, good to see you as well. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So this is one of our exciting topics and probably one of the most passionate things that we talk a lot about internally. So, and obviously we want to be able to give some value to the agents here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how long you've been around the real estate world?
Yeah, well, this is one of my favorite topics because wealth drives everything. And positive wealth drives even more. So basically, I started in commercial real estate with my family. My mother's side, Tornado Realty, big in real estate and development and so forth. And then my father started Greg Basile and Associates. So I started there when I was younger. I won't give my age, but just kidding, of course. But I started there early on and was in commercial real estate for a while. Really enjoyed that background in commercial real estate the way it was. Fast forward through Comcast and a few other businesses that I started, got together with you about 4 years ago.
That's right.
And wealth building really became front and center.
Yeah, well, we definitely value our relationship with you, and I'm really important. So when you talk about wealth building, why would you say this is so important, not only to the real estate agents, but to all of us?
Well, when I was in commercial real estate, what I realized was residential realtors were not getting the lion's share of the money. They thought they were, but they were not. Commercial, we were getting paid well, but it was the brokerages were holding on to so much money for their profit. But it wasn't until recently that now there's so many different streams of passive and residual income, which is very important in people's lives right now.
Yeah, it's all about opportunity.
Yes, it is.
There are two areas when you're looking at wealth building that I think are really important. Number one, playing defense, okay? And that includes things like healthcare, disability, life insurance, you name it, emergency fund. And then the second side, which is I think more attractive and is more the sexy side of wealth building, that plays into the offense, which is the investment accounts. That's the real estate portfolios. That's some of the ancillary companies that Greg were talking about. And then even syndications that people are doing to purchase property and to do development together. That's when it gets really exciting. So, Greg, there are common themes around wealth building that over the years we've seen. What are some of the things that you've learned over the years that you think the agent should be mindful of along this journey?
Well, it's the art of the wheel. We know the art of the real estate prospecting funnel, but it's the art of the wheel. The art of the wheel is having all the spokes covered. Whether it's building wealth, anyone can get a commission, put some money away in an IRA, buy an investment property, but there are other ways now in real estate that you can make money on title, shares of title, of insurance. You can make profit share, a different share from the profits of the brokerage. Yeah. So there are many different ways, and you need to cover yourself in all those ways. The days of just selling a property and getting a commission, that's already known. That's there are so many more things nowadays that you need to, like all those spokes in a wheel.
Yeah, and I love that too, because there's a couple other things that really hit home for me too, is that you got to be careful. I know people who have put their eggs into one basket and they've done well. I know a lot of people who put their eggs in one basket and they weren't diversified and things didn't end well for them. So I think really being careful of how you concentrate things is really important.
Be mindful. Yeah. Go deep.
Yeah.
Go deep to find out everything. Yeah. Find out every bit of any contract, any bit of every business decision. The deeper you go, the more you'll find out, and obviously the more we'll all learn.
Yeah. The other thing that has been helpful to me over the years too, and we've talked about this, has been consistency. Because you can't just do it once. Wealth building isn't just a one-time thing, it's an all-the-time thing that requires a lot of attention. It sometimes requires some sacrifices to get that momentum going.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then I think at the end of the day too, that you got to stick with it. You really do. That consistency and sticking with it. I think Albert Einstein's the one who said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world.
It is.
Problem is most people don't see it happen fast enough because it's not instant. And so they don't continue to do it.
Yeah, a lot of things that we do and we've done that we didn't create this. We learn from people who do it at a high level. And that's the best way to learn and share those things. Is if you're not doing it now, speak to someone who's doing it. Come see a panel, whether it's through us or somewhere else, of somebody who's doing it now at a low level or high level. And we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the other thing too you got to be mindful of is, we help people navigate all these different situations, right? Primary residences, second home, vacation, investment properties, commercial properties, right? And we're helping a lot of people. You got to make sure too that while you're helping others, that you're also helping your family and your friends along that journey too.
I agree.
So, Greg, let's shift it for a minute here. So, as a realtor, there's a lot of different brokerage options out there, right? And there's no such thing as a perfect brokerage, all right? But there are some brokerage models out there right now that are borrowing from the corporate world, okay, to get their organizations off the ground, and then offering stock as a way to recruit agents to their organization. So what are some of the questions that agents should be asking, or some of the things they should be mindful of if they're considering company stock, whether it be in real estate or maybe even other companies?
Research.
Yeah.
I mean, research, if it seems too good to be true, it is. A lot of companies will give, and I was part of one, I won't say which, will give restricted stock units that mature in 5 years. But within those 5 years, anything can happen. Also, research the stock. Research the past 5 years, the last 3 years, and more importantly, the last 6 months, because of not where it's been, but where we're going. Also, if it's stock, research some of the larger stocks. Your Zillows, a few of them. If those leaders are trending down, most likely the rest will trend down.
Yeah.
So.
And it's amazing too, because a big part with the wealth building game, we said there's the defensive side and then there's the offensive side.
Agreed.
And what a lot of people, including myself, are very good at looking at what the upside is. But what you don't realize is that when you experience that downside, it takes a lot more to get it back to break even.
I agree. The second part of that is definitely what you make is perfect. You really want to drive that and do more business, but it's what you burn. Always be mindful of what you're burning, how much money you're spending. Don't even base it on how much you're making, because you can make a whole lot more and burn a lot more. So as long as what you're doing is understanding what you're burning, what you're spending, and you'll angle it from both sides and do very, very well and put that money into investments, into wealth.
Yeah, thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you.
So, I think Greg hit the nail on the head, which is the first thing, which is, when something sounds too good to be true, often it is, right? And even if it isn't, dig deeper. Take the time to do your due diligence. Have a professional look at the agreements. And most importantly, you got to really look at the fine print, because one of the things I think that's hold true over time is there's no such thing as a magic pill, right? I think that's something that we've seen. And then the other thing too is that don't be dependent on any one company for your wealth building, right? You got to take control of that process. You got to have a plan around that process and make sure that you're doing what you can do so that in the event you decide to scale back or you have some type of emergency, you have the freedom and flexibility to do that. So, I'd like to thank Greg for joining us today. And our next topic is going to be about don't be penny wise and dollar foolish, which is a conversation around value with our friend Anne-Marie Hines. So don't miss out. I'm Dave Batty. Thanks for tuning in.